Hi, welcome to Homeschool and You, where we bring home to school and school to home and discuss you and your growth in the process. My name is NaKhia. I am a wife, a homeschool mom of one, and a leadership coach, consultant, and speaker. And I created this space to be a resource and support, especially for people who are thinking about homeschooling and people who are new to homeschooling. But we also welcome this space for the vets of homeschooling that just need a little extra support and encouragement too. So welcome, 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 no matter who you are and no matter where you are on this spectrum. So how did I get into homeschooling? Well, it's definitely not something that I saw for myself. So I had at least three major barriers to thinking about homeschooling my son. Well, it all started when he was starting to have some issues with his school in second grade. And he was coming to us, me and my husband, and communicating being unhappy. And I was also seeing how the school environment was taking a toll on his mental health as well as his physical health, and how it just was not a great environment for him. But I was like, homeschool? I am not the one. So the first barrier for me was identity. I had this idea in my mind of what a homeschool mom was like, and I did not fit that picture. I was like, God, I am not that girl. And I just could not see it. I could not see myself being a homeschool mom. The second barrier I had was just thinking that I was inadequate. I had this huge fear that I would fail my son and had a lot of questions around if I could provide the educational environment that he needed and that he deserved. Then the third barrier that I had was just trying to figure out how it was all going to work out because, as I said, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm also a ministry leader at my church. I work at a nonprofit during the day. I launched a new business at the same time that my son was wanting us to explore this. And I was just like, where this going to fit? Where is this going to fit? How is this all going to come together? So we are a Christian family of faith. We love God. We love God's people. We love God's word. And we are a family of faith. And so me and my husband just began to pray about if this was a path that we should pursue. And especially for me, praying around those barriers. And I love how God works. I feel like He met me at every single place that I was questioning myself and gave me a sense of peace that I was going to be okay and that we were going to be okay. And eventually, after probably about a year from when we started having conversations and thinking about it, a year of like praying, seeking counsel, we decided to move forward with it for third grade year. I think it was the last possible week that we could withdraw him from his school before the start of the new year that we withdrew him and sent the notice of intent to our county and began our journey. So we're now in our second year homeschooling a fourth grader, and it has been fun. I would be lying if I said it didn't have challenges or hard days, because it is quite an adjustment. However, we have no regrets, and it has been so good for my son. And the surprise, y'all, is that it was so good for me. I remember within like a few months of starting the homeschool journey, just journaling and thinking about how much I had grown in the process, like how much I was being transformed by the experience and like having my son home with me every day and having to think intentionally about what I was going to teach him and how I was going to teach it. And um, I realized that God was changing me. He was growing and developing me just as much as he was growing and developing my son. And that's when I said, okay, you tricked me, God. That's when I said, okay, this is just as much about me as it is about him. And so I want to invite you as you think about this journey, first of all, to know that with God, you can overcome any barriers that you might have. With God, anything is possible, especially if He is leading you in that direction. He will not disappoint, He will not fail. Um, we have found that homeschooling has brought so much more flexibility to our lives, definitely a slower pace of life. and a lot of joy. It's been fun seeing my son restored in like happiness, confidence, joy in learning. Um, all those things are priceless. And then to see me get to tap into a gift that I didn't know I had or that I hadn't used in this context, and to be able to slow down and grow as well. So I invite you to think about, how might God be growing you in this process, or how might He want to grow you and meet you in this process of homeschooling? If this video resonates with you, like it, subscribe, because there is more coming your way. And I can't wait to see you next time.